Extra money coming from federal unemployment checks is about to expire. And even worse, for some people, this week's money has yet to arrive. CBS 2's Natalie Duddridge went to find out why.
Dawn Kojak lost her two jobs as both a background actor and a legal assistant in mid-March. Ever since, she's been relying on state unemployment checks and federal pandemic unemployment compensation, or FPUC. But this week's federal $600 check didn't come.
I'm living on my own. I live solo, and I pay phone, I pay the electricity, I pay TV, I pay everything.
CBS 2 got a dozen calls and messages to our newsroom from people experiencing the same issue. We reached out to the New York Department of Labor, which said state unemployment checks weren't affected, but that a technical problem did cause a delay in New York State processing the federal payments. Officials say it has been fixed and that the federal payments were processed overnight and New Yorkers should receive them one day after their state checks. But these FPUC checks won't last much longer. They're set to expire at the end of the month unless Congress decides to extend the payments.
Next week, though, is our last week, and it's not going to be smooth sailing after that if there's not another renewal of the $600.
Many like Kojak were hopeful they'd find new work before those checks run out, especially now that New York State has moved into phase 4. But she says she's still struggling.
It's not happening right now, so I've been looking at office jobs here in the city as well as in the surrounding area, and there's just nothing. I've been applying for 2 months now.
The latest jobs report shows June's unemployment rate rose to 15.7%, up from 14.5% in May. Kojak says she's considering going back to her old career in the restaurant business, but that industry is still struggling with a pause on indoor dining and no end in sight. Right now, she just hopes this week's check shows up as promised. In Hell's Kitchen, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.